This video is for the Christian who feels like life has passed them by. You know, you just look around at your life and maybe you're 45, 55, or even 65, and this soft, heavy thought whispers in your ear like, is this it? Did I miss it? Did life just pass me by? So think about this. Imagine a child building a Lego castle for a second. They have the box, right? And they see this big, beautiful picture on the front, right? They know exactly what it's supposed to look like, but then somewhere along the way, some pieces get lost underneath the couch, then the dog steps on a tower, and suddenly the castle looks nothing like the picture on the box. And that child feels a deep, sad ache in their chest. They want to cry, not because they're angry, but because they're disappointed. Brothers and sisters, for so many of us living here in 2026, we are looking at the table of our lives, and the pieces don't match the picture we were promised. Maybe the marriage didn't last. Maybe your body feels tired and broken like mine. Or maybe the career path you spent 20 years building suddenly shifted because the world changed. And now you feel left behind. And if that's you today, I want to stop for a second. And I want to look you in the eyes and say, it's okay to cry about the missing pieces. It is. And you're not a bad Christian because your heart hurts. We live in a very loud world right now. And every time we open our phones, there's a giant billboard telling us that we should be younger, richer, faster, and happier. We see people our age reinventing themselves, starting over, looking perfect. It's exhausting, isn't it? It makes you feel like you're basically running a race on a treadmill and you're running as fast as you can, breathing hard, but you're still in the exact same room as you were before. You know, when you're 10 years old, a decade feels like an eternity. But when you hit and surpass 40 like me, or maybe 50 like some of you, a decade feels like a blink of an eye. And you look in the mirror and you think, where did time go? How did I get here? I think about the story of Elijah in the Bible. He wasn't a young man when he hit his wall. He was tired. He went out into the desert, sat down under a little tree, and basically told God, I'm done. I've ran out of strength. It didn't turn out the way I thought. And do you not want to know what God did? He didn't yell at him. He didn't give him a long, complicated lecture. He didn't tell him to just have more faith. God gave him a quiet space, some food, and he let him sleep. God treated his tired adult prophet like a loving father treats a crying child who just might have had a hard day at school. If you feel like life has passed you by, you might be carrying a lot of shame. You might think if I just prayed more, or if I made better choices, I wouldn't be stuck here. But I want to remind you of something very simple. God's not disappointed in you. He loves you because you're his, not because of how many trophies are on your shelf, right? To move forward, we have to do something really hard, brothers and sisters. We have to look at the picture on the front of the Lego box, the life we thought we would have, and we have to gently lay it down. And when a little child loses a favorite toy, you can't just hand them a new one right away and expect them to smile. They need to cry about the one they lost at first, because that loss is real to them. And just like you, your loss is real too. Maybe you lost a dream of a happy family. Maybe you lost financial security. Maybe you lost your health. It is holy work to grieve those things. Jesus wept at the grave of his friend Lazarus, right? Even though he knew he was about to do something amazing. Why? Simple. Because pain hurts. God cares about the tears you cry in the kitchen when everyone else is asleep, or when you're downstairs in your room at night. He cares about you. So in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, we are often caught in the middle. That's how I feel. And we are taking care of aging parents, or dealing with adult children like some of you, or looking at retirement and realizing that the math doesn't look the way we hoped. The world tells us we are sliding down the hill. But in God's kingdom, there are no hills. There's no hills to slide down. There's only a path that keeps you going forward. You haven't been bypassed, and you haven't been forgotten. The clock didn't run out on God's love for you, brothers and sisters. Remember that. So let's go back to that child with a broken Lego castle for a second. The original picture is gone. But what if the father comes over, sits on the floor in the mess, and says, "Hey, let's have a look at what we still have. Let's build something new together with the pieces that are left." You know, the new castle might not look exactly like the picture on the box, might have different colors, might be smaller, but because the father and the child built it together, it becomes something even more special. It has a story and it has resilience. Your life is not over. If you have breath in your lungs today, God is still sitting on that floor with you, holding the pieces. He's not looking at what you lost. He's looking at what is still there. Your wisdom, your kindness, the love you have, that you can give to a lonely, broken world. Those pieces are still in your hands. The world in 2026 needs people who have walked through the fire and still know how to love, because that's something that is lacking nowadays. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs honest people who can say, "Life hurt me," or "I struggled with this, but you know what? God is still good." So if you're walking today with a heavy heart, thinking that the best chapters of your book have already been read, I just want you to take another deep breath. The author hasn't put down the pen. The most beautiful, quiet, deep chapters might just be what's starting right now. You don't have to figure it all out today. You just have to take the next steps on the path, and that's it. So blessings, dear friends, and always remember to take heart, to stand firm, and finish well.